All right, weirdos, grab a drink, pull up a chair, and if you've got a dog nearby, make sure they've claimed the best spot in the room. Because tonight, we're not chasing ghosts through dark hallways or hiking through swamps at midnight. Tonight, we're opening the big book, the one full of Florida Christmas stories that are true, documented, and still somehow make you say, of course that happened here. Welcome back to Greetings from Floweirda. My name is Joe Torino, and this is a very special holiday episode. It's not ghost stories, not legends, not folklore. These are real Florida Christmas events that somehow feel more unbelievable than fiction. So pour something festive, and let's start at the point where Florida Christmas officially went off the rails. Gene Pope did not decorate for Christmas. Gene Pope produced Christmas. If you were anywhere near Lantana, Florida in December during the 1970s or 80s, you didn't need directions to find the National Enquirer headquarters. You followed the traffic, then the glow, because towering above the building was a Christmas tree so massive, it looked less like holiday decor and more like it required FAA approval. This wasn't a Florida tree. It wasn't even close. Every single year, Pope sent a National Enquirer staffer to the Pacific Northwest, not to write a story, but to hunt for the perfect Douglas fir. Once chosen, the tree was stripped of nearly 2/3 of its branches so it could survive the journey. The trunk alone was loaded onto a flat car and shipped 3,600 miles across the country. And when it arrived in Florida, they rebuilt it by hand. Workers drilled thousands of holes in the trunk and reattached the branches one by one, like a 126-foot Lego set made entirely of pine needles and bad ideas. At its peak, the tree featured over 300,000 lights, a 6-foot silver star, and caused traffic backup so severe, police had to manage crowds. In 1979, Guinness officially crowned it the world's largest decorated Christmas tree. For nearly 20 years, families planned entire evenings around it. But because this is Florida, and because nothing joyful here is ever allowed to exist without a little chaos, there's one more chapter to this story. Not everyone loved the National Enquirer. During a 2015 interview with Dan Le Batard, Hollywood icon Burt Reynolds, who lived nearby and had a long, very public feud with the tabloid, admitted that one Christmas Eve, he decided to give them a holiday message of his own. According to Reynolds, in his own words, "They had been killing me. So I had about 100 horses at the time, and that's a lot of horse shit. So I got 2 huge nets, and I filled them both. And at about 3 in the morning, my ranch foreman and I took my helicopter down to the wonderful National Enquirer, which is just down the road from me. I just didn't think it was right that they had the largest Christmas tree in the United States. It wasn't right. So I dumped it on top of the tree, and it just cascaded down. It was a beautiful sight." He later said that it made him feel great. And honestly, that might be the most Florida Christmas card ever sent. And then It disappeared. After Gene Pope died in 1988, the tree was moved to Miami's Bayfront Park. The organization behind it collapsed, and the most famous Christmas tree in the world stood forgotten for 50 days. No ceremony, no goodbye, and eventually it was chopped into mulch. Florida giveth, and Florida eventually turns everything into landscaping.
This is shuttle launch control. Ignition sequence starts. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
On Christmas Day, 1968, orbiting the moon aboard Apollo 8, astronaut Jim Lovell radioed Houston with a line that became legend.
Please be informed, there is a Santa Claus.
NASA could have left it at that, but instead, they leaned in. Beginning in 1981, Kennedy Space Center officially announced that the shuttle landing facility would remain open and illuminated on Christmas Eve just in case Santa needed to land. This wasn't a joke memo. This was policy. Runway lights were on, the tower was staffed, and Santa cleared for approach. For decades, NASA kept the bit alive. In the early 2000s, they even claimed shuttles like Discovery were being used to mimic Santa's sleigh to test landing systems, and that the tower would stay lit to guide him in. Because if anyone understands flight paths, tight schedules, and logistics under pressure, it's NASA. Before caroling, Florida had serenading, and it was loud and armed. In rural 19th century Florida, groups of men roamed from farm to farm at night, firing guns into the air and ringing cowbells. This wasn't a celebration, it was leverage. If you didn't come outside and offer food or whiskey, the noise continued. Sometimes aggressively. Meanwhile, Tampa took Christmas in a different direction entirely. They hosted actual jousting tournaments. Costumed knights on horseback charged at full speed, attempting to spear a tiny metal ring with an 8-foot lance. And there was one strict rule. Only bachelors could compete. Winning earned the right to crown the Queen of Love and Beauty at the Christmas ball. Married men were banned, which suggests Tampa learned early that nothing kills Christmas faster than a spouse saying, "Don't even think about it." Christmas morning, 1925. Daytona Beach residents walked the shoreline expecting shells and found whiskey. Thousands of cases washed ashore from ships anchored just outside U.S. waters, part of Rum Row, the offshore liquor supply line during Prohibition. For weeks, locals patrolled the dunes at dawn, scanning for crates like kids hunting Easter eggs. And there's the poetry of it. Bill McCoy, the rum runner whose name became synonymous with authentic, uncut liquor, was in jail at the time. He was released on Christmas Day, 1925. So as pristine Scotch and rye appeared on Florida beaches, people said it was the Real McCoy. Not because he caused it, but because Florida couldn't resist the symbolism. If you've ever found an orange in your stocking, that's Florida. During the Great Depression, toys were luxuries families couldn't afford. But Florida oranges, those were gold. Inspired by the legend of St. Nicholas leaving gold coins in stockings, families placed bright oranges inside instead. For children in frozen northern states, a Florida orange was exotic, warm, sweet. For millions of Americans, Florida became part of Christmas, one citrus fruit at a time. Florida didn't abandon Santa. It adapted him. Because when your winters are 70 degrees, your roads don't freeze, and half the state is surrounded by water, a flying sleigh pulled by reindeer just isn't practical. So Florida did what Florida always does. It reworked the legend. In Apalachicola, Santa doesn't come down the chimney. He comes upriver. Every year, usually the Friday after Thanksgiving, families line the riverfront as a working shrimp boat eases its way up the Apalachicola River. The decks are lit, kids crowd the docks, and standing at the bow, waving like he's just finished a long haul, is Santa Claus.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, everyone!
This isn't a novelty gimmick, it's identity. Apalachicola built its life on the water. By the early 1900s, shrimp boats and oyster harvests were already defining the town's economy, and by 1915, canned shrimp from Apalachicola was shipping across the country. So when Santa arrived by shrimp boat, he's not breaking tradition. He is the tradition. Older residents remember when Santa used to ride in on a fire truck, but eventually, the town made a conscious decision. If we're gonna do Christmas, we're gonna do it our way. The shrimp boat became the sleigh, and now, Santa's arrival kicks off a full downtown celebration. Luminaries lining the streets, caroling, late-night shopping, and a reminder that this small Gulf town still knows exactly who it is. On the Atlantic coast, Santa doesn't float, he paddles. What started in 2009 as a goofy family idea, just a few friends in Santa suits grabbing surfboards, has grown into one of the most joyful, unhinged, and heartwarming Christmas events in the world. Every Christmas Eve, Cocoa Beach fills with red suits, white beards, and surfboards waxed for the season. By the time the sun comes up, hundreds of Santas, sometimes more than 800, hit the waves together. Kids, parents, grandparents, first-timers wobbling to their feet, veteran surfers carving clean lines in full Santa regalia. Nearly 10,000 spectators gather along the shore to watch. And here's the best part. It's not just chaos for chaos's sake. Surfing Santas raises tens of thousands of dollars every year for charity, supporting the Florida Surf Museum, which preserves the state's surfing history, and Grind for Life, a local organization helping people battling cancer. One of the organizers likes to quote surfing legend Phil Edwards, who once said, "The best surfer out there is the one having the most fun." And on Christmas Eve in Cocoa Beach, that title belongs to every single Santa in the water. And then there's the Keys. Down here, Santa doesn't ride a sleigh, he doesn't paddle, he dives. For more than 30 years, divers near Key Largo have been greeted by an unexpected sight on Christmas Eve. Santa Claus, fully suited up, descending through the clear blue water of the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary. A full red suit, white beard, scuba tank, sometimes an elf, sometimes a small weighted Christmas tree settling gently onto the reef. And this isn't a one-off stunt. It's an annual tradition led by Spencer Slate, owner of Captain Slate's Scuba Adventures, who has been donning the Santa suit underwater for decades. The dives usually take place at spots like Pleasure Reef or Elbow Reef, where Santa glides past schools of fish just like it's another day at the office. Marine life barely reacts anymore. Apparently, even the fish know it's Christmas. But like surfing Santas, this tradition has a deeper purpose. Divers can pay extra for underwater photos with Santa, with proceeds going to kids in special situations, a charity that provides Christmas gifts to underprivileged children in the Keys. In recent years, Scuba Santa has even expanded inland, appearing at places like the Florida Keys Aquarium Encounters, feeding stingrays and lobsters inside massive tanks while kids watch wide-eyed from the glass. No sleigh, no snow, no reindeer, just boats, boards, tanks, and a whole lot of creativity. In Florida, Christmas doesn't arrive from the sky. It comes from the water. So if you ever wonder why Florida feels different during the holidays, it's because it always has been. This state doesn't just celebrate Christmas, it reinvents it. From record-breaking trees that shut down highways, to rocket runways kept open just in case Santa needs clearance, to whiskey washing ashore like a holiday miracle, and to Santas who surf, dive, and arrive by shrimp boat. This is what happens when tradition meets Florida, and somehow survives. Thank you for spending part of your holiday with me. Whether you listened while cooking, driving, wrapping gifts, or just escaping to a quiet corner for a few minutes, it truly means a lot to me. I hope your Christmas is warm, your New Year is kind, and whatever weird road Florida takes us down next, we'll take it together. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and as always, stay weird, Florida. We'll see you next year. Greetings from Floweirda is written, researched, and narrated by me, Joe Torino. Sound design and production by yours truly, with original theme music by Modern Mimes. You can find more stories, photos, and episode extras at @FloweirdaPod on Instagram, and visit floweirda.pod.com for links to listen on any platform, plus the official merch store. And if you like what you hear, share the show, leave a review, or tell a friend who loves a little weird with their history. And as always, stay weird, Florida. We'll see you next time.